But we want to look at social mobility because that's starting to come back to the forefront. And for those that have been following us, we wrote a whole research paper on how social mobility has been massively impacted for a very long period of time. And that social mobility, or that lack of social mobility and economic growth, is really the crux of some of the problems that are happening, and how people feel disenfranchised or angry, but they're not really sure why. And I think you're seeing that more and more. And they're lashing out and they're grabbing onto different things, whether it's environmentalism, whether it's anti-Fed or anti-something else or anti-dollar, but they're trying to find the solution, but it comes down to the lack of social mobility, the lack of economic growth, no matter how hard you work. And that's where and we've talked about inflation, and that's where inflation has been impacting us for so long. They'll claim it was at 1.8, 2%. It was much higher. And for anybody that was paying for school or education or childcare or food, you're seeing what they're saying on television. It's like, oh, it's 1.8%. But you're like, well, that's not what I was paying in the store. That's not what I was paying for childcare. That's not. And when you actually broke it down in terms of healthcare and everything else, it was closer to 4 to 5%. Now, COVID essentially ripped the Band-Aid off as every government and central bank flooded the market with liquidity, and that's again creating that buildup. And now we've opened Pandora's box, and here we are, and it's very difficult to get that back in. But we'll talk about that in segment one.